Boosie going to jail! Oh, God! Oh, God is good. I keep telling y'all, street got no God. God do not look after street. Boosie really thought he wasn't going to jail for that pistol. I knew he was going. I just was waiting.
A lot of things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across the world, making. So I just want to get it over with, and, you know, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over it.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Just say a prayer for me. I just need prayer. I don't need nothing else.
Well, Charleston White was celebrating you taking the plea deal. I think he even said he hopes you die in jail and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
The biggest thing right now was that you actually accepted a plea deal for your federal gun case.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been fighting this thing from the very, very beginning?
I've been fighting for probably 3 years now, probably.
3 years.
Boosie Badazz is staring down the barrel of a possible 10-year sentence in his federal gun case. And guess who couldn't wait a second to celebrate? Charleston White. The moment news of Boosie's case hit the blogs, Charleston popped out grinning like it was Christmas morning. He went live, cracking jokes, mocking Boosie's downfall, and even bragging that he had been waiting for this exact moment. According to Charleston, he always knew Boosie would end up in jail, and he was ready to pop champagne the day it finally happened. He even took it a step further, saying he wouldn't care if Boosie never made it out alive.
Or where the feds picked it up?
Now, it was a state case. The feds came, picked it up. They had a ruling in the Supreme Court that went in my favor, and the case got dropped by the judge. The case got dropped.
Meanwhile, Boosie himself had already admitted to fans that he was exhausted. Earlier this month, he told supporters he had accepted a plea deal because he was tired of fighting. He explained that he thought it was the best choice, even though the case had once been dismissed. But the prosecutors weren't finished. In 2024, they came back swinging harder, re-indicting him on the same charge. And this time, it could carry more than a decade behind bars.
I wasn't gonna go to trial with it from the dump, actually, but I feel like this the right move for me. You know, I trust in God, Black.
The contrast couldn't be more brutal. On one side, Boosie was posting emotional, faith-filled messages about trusting God, while confessing just how worn down he felt by the system. On the other, Charleston White was online popping bottles, dancing like it was his birthday, and acting like Boosie's pain was his personal victory. And if you followed Boosie's career, you know his legal drama isn't new. He's been dodging cases, beefs, and health scares since his early Baton Rouge days.
Going to jail! Oh, God! Oh, God is good. I keep telling y'all, street ain't got no God. God do not look after street. Boosie really thought he wasn't going to jail for that pistol. I knew he was going. She going to jail. All that newborn baby. Boosie won't get to see that newborn baby till that baby be walking and talking. Boosie going to jail!
But this charge, felon in possession of a firearm, was always going to be hard to beat. When the feds took it over from the state, that sealed his fate. At first, things looked good in 2023 when the case got dismissed, and fans celebrated thinking Boosie was finally free to focus on music, family, and staying out of trouble. But the feds weren't finished. In 2024, they came right back, slapping him with the same charge, basically saying, "Nice try, but we're not letting you off that easy." That's when Boosie finally broke down and took the plea. He even posted about it, saying, "I thought this case was over."
He brought you up because you were attacking Kanye because of the...
Nah, guess Kanye West, it just happened. Nigga been coming at me. He been coming at me. It's just, you know, I can't respond to those people, bro. Like, that's a danger to what I got going on. You can't take no risk of losing this behind, you know.
But God don't make mistakes. I'm tired of fighting. For him, it wasn't just another case. It was the moment all his past battles, close calls, and legal struggles caught up with him. Fans flooded his mentions with support, but it was obvious that this wasn't the same Boosie who used to clap back at critics or troll his enemies. This was a man who sounded broken, who sounded tired, who seemed like he was preparing to accept his fate. But Charleston White? He saw it as a comedy show.
I ain't really got no opinion on him because, you know, my opinion can send me to prison. So I ain't really, you know, I ain't really got no opinion on them, you know, once you go to threaten people, kids, talking about you out of line. So, you know, I ain't the one gonna do all that. I ain't gonna do all that, you know what I'm saying? It's just, hey, you know, certain people you can't really express opinions on, and he one of those. You can't express how you feel because you might end up in prison. And I ain't getting tricked off the street.
He went live laughing, saying Boosie thought he could dodge jail but was wrong. He even mocked Boosie's newborn child, saying that baby would be walking and talking before Boosie ever saw it again. And if that wasn't cruel enough, Charleston added that he hoped Boosie died in prison. For most people, that would be a shocking line to cross. But for Charleston, it's just another day. After all, he's built his entire career on being hip-hop's loudest troll. And that's where this story gets even deeper. Because Charleston's obsession with Boosie goes back years. It's not just random internet trolling, their beef has roots. It all started back in 2022, when Kanye West's White Lives Matter shirt had everybody heated. Boosie spoke out against Kanye, calling him disrespectful to black people, and most folks agreed with him. But Charleston White? Nope. He jumped online blasting Boosie for daring to speak on Kanye.
Oh, just them white folk, Boosie, you done got too much. You done let these niggas play you too, mother. This internet book dumb and it. Say what Lil Tootie gonna do now? What Lil Tootie say? Listen, Vlad TV. Vlad post everybody going to jail but Boosie. Somebody tag Vlad TV.
And instead of just coming for Boosie, Charleston went lower, dragging Boosie's son Tootie Raw and even T.I.'s son King Harris into the drama. He mocked their looks, clowned their reputations, and even predicted they'd end up in jail. That's when people realized Charleston wasn't just a troll, he was willing to go to any length, even targeting kids, just to get under a rapper's skin. What surprised fans was how calm Boosie stayed. Instead of snapping back the way everyone expected, Boosie played it safe. He knew Charleston's goal was to bait him into saying something reckless that could land him in prison. But by 2023, the tension boiled over. Tootie Raw decided to clap back, calling Charleston old and messy and telling him to go die. And Charleston, he took it 10 times further. He went live wishing death on Boosie, mocking his health issues, and even saying he hoped Boosie wouldn't survive without insulin. Then, when Tootie actually got arrested later that year on gun charges, Charleston bragged that he was the one who tipped off the police. He even claimed Boosie used kids to do his dirty work, calling him a murderer who was finally about to see karma.
I'm gonna put your in jail, waiting for the FBI to send me the right collar number, because I'm finna make a report on your mother people. And you make the man call your name specifically. The promoter specifically says your mother ain't Lil Boosie. He implemented you and implicated you. Finna go to jail, back to jail. You gonna be on your knees, but them knees gonna be bleeding again.
That's when the beef officially turned dangerous. This wasn't just words anymore. This was real-life consequences. Not even 3 months later, Boosie himself got arrested again, and Charleston was right there, laughing about it online. He turned Boosie's pain into a sermon, claiming it was all part of God's plan, comparing him to Daniel in the lion's den.
I feel, I trust in God, man. This crazy.
Fans didn't know whether he was serious or trolling, but either way, the disrespect was wild. Even when Boosie tried to ignore him, Charleston's shadow loomed. By early 2024, Aiden Ross was caught in the middle of the mess. Boosie skipped his stream to avoid Charleston, but Aiden flipped the story, lying that he turned Boosie down out of loyalty to Charleston White. That lie blew up online, forcing DJ Vlad to step in and check Aiden for siding with a man who had praised Hitler and denied the Holocaust. That moment showed just how far Charleston's influence had stretched. His name was being used as clout currency even among young streamers. But Charleston wasn't done.
I'm not a street kid. I'm not a criminal. I'm a kid who was raised to tell the truth. When my mama come in and say, son, what happened? Mama, I didn't do that. I got to pay for a lawyer. I got 2 lawyers, Carl Mallory and Louis Stearns. Louis Stearns became Judge Stearns, Judge Louis Stearns. But nigga, I had 2 paid for lawyers. My mama is a well-to-do mama. I'm just playing, I ain't playing. I'm an adolescent going through an adolescent stage of rebelliousness. I ain't no street. Hell yeah, I'm gonna tell on you. I've been telling since I was a little bitty boy.
By March, he claimed Boosie was warning promoters not to book him. And in response, Charleston said he'd already reached out to the feds. He promised to get Boosie locked up for making threats, dragging his health into it again just to make the insult sting harder. Once again, Charleston had no proof, but it didn't matter. He said it loud enough and it stuck. Boosie himself even admitted that people in prison were already calling him, asking when he was going to join them. Imagine the insult of being mocked by inmates before you even step foot behind bars. And here's the part that really makes fans shake their heads. Boosie didn't even want to risk going to trial. He went straight for the plea deal. And honestly, can you blame him?
Pull off and the hammer back on the gun. And then what?
Imagine Charleston showing up in court, turning the whole thing into a circus. Testifying, pointing fingers, then running to Instagram Live the second he stepped out of the courtroom. It sounds wild, but it's not far-fetched. Charleston has bragged about calling the cops on rappers, about snitching, about setting people up, and he's been open about his past too. When he was just 14, Charleston was caught up in a robbery with other teens. During the robbery, someone in his crew shot and killed a man. When it came time for court, Charleston testified against him. In street culture, that's unforgivable. But Charleston has never denied it. In fact, he's proud of it. He defends himself by saying, "I was young, I told the truth." That's not snitching. That's survival. That's why people call him a hypocrite. One minute, he's clowning rappers as rats. The next, he's bragging that he snitched as a kid. And yet, he's managed to spin it into his brand. Loud, messy, and untouchable. So, when you connect all the dots, the beef that started in 2022, the shots at Tootie Raw, the constant trolling, the snitching, it feels like Charleston has been waiting for this moment, maybe even praying for it. To him, Boosie's plea deal is karma. It's proof that all his trash talk, all his predictions finally came true. Right now, Boosie isn't locked up yet, but with the plea deal on the table, the reality is he could be gone for 10 years. Meanwhile, Charleston White is clowning like he already won, calling it divine justice, turning it into content, and reminding everyone that in his world, trolling is just as powerful as the law. And here's the part that hits hardest. If Charleston is this loud while Boosie is still technically free, just imagine the circus he'll create if Boosie actually gets sentenced. You think he's celebrating now? Wait until the gavel drops. So what do you think? Is Charleston White exposing Boosie's karma, or is this just another example of him dragging someone down for attention? Do you believe Boosie deserves this decade, or is the system just breaking another man who's been fighting his whole life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, and keep the conversation going. We've got more messy stories coming your way real soon. Click right here to watch the next video, and I'll see you on the next one.